The other day I was watching a magical girl anime and thought, man, these girls are cute and all, but you know what would make this show even better? If they wore heavy armor and were bulletproof. Am I alone in thinking this? Listen, did you know there was a study that showed that 85% of men feel an urge to see a cute character holding a war weapon that's half her size? Seriously, you can check it out and see the study for yourself on this website right here. Fortunately, we've been blessed with a very creative nation that's been satisfying that very need for years now, Japan. But for real, have you ever taken a minute out of your day to thank Japan for its honorable contribution to the world? I sure did. And today's anime is yet another Japanese gem. What if you played a revolutionary VR game where you could actually feel pain? What stat would you invest in the most? Exactly, vitality. And by following this very simple thought, this anime was born. I don't want to get hurt, so max out my defense. Genius. Maple is an ordinary high school student who's never been a big fan of games until her friend convinces her to try a new trending VR MMORPG called New World Online. She accepts the offer, buys the Nerf gear, the VR headset, and jumps straight into the game. She sees a few classes to choose from before entering the server, and well, as the name of the anime implies, she goes with a shield. She also gets some points to distribute among her attributes, and as the visionary she is, she dumps everything to vitality, which means life, basically. Then she's taken to the first level of the tower, the first village, yes. And if you allow me to say something, this village looks quite nostalgic. It reminds me of those old school RPGs I used to play back when I was little, you know? But anyway, what's the first thing you should do when starting an MMORPG? Interact with the other players, of course.
Hi there! Excuse me?
Maple then decides to head to her first area, hoping to find some monsters and level up, but there is just one tiny problem. She can barely move. I guess that's what you get when you invest only in vitality, right? And finally she finds her first monster. Let's see how this battle goes. After doing absolutely nothing, she gets a passive skill that doubles her vitality just for standing still and taking damage from this little guy, and everything is going smoothly and all, until she gets distracted by some birds and accidentally kills Mr. Bunny. Everyone, please pay respects to Mr. Bunny, he shall be remembered forever. Then Maple just keeps walking through the forest, until another terrifying enemy appears, and the same thing happens, it barely tickles. But this time something changes, she actually takes damage from the venom the wasp shoots at her. And listen, if you were in a situation like this, what would you do? Option A, use your shield to protect yourself and fight the wasp with the knife you have. Option B, run away. Or option C, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Option B, of course, why the hell would you subscribe to my channel? She runs away only to remember she can move like 1 meter every minute, and then she just falls to the ground. But Maple thinks, what if I just stay here and get poison resistance? And it works. It's not the best resistance though, since the venom is relatively weak, but it's something. Now, if you happen to play RPGs, you know you're not supposed to stay in the beginner friendly area to gain experience and better equipment when you're like level 5. Instead, you should head straight to the first dungeon and face the boss head on by yourself. And seriously, if you don't do that, then you just don't know how to play RPGs, I'm sorry. And that's exactly what Maple does. In the first episode, she's already fighting a 3-headed Hydra. The only problem is that she doesn't have any proper equipment to actually damage the thing, so she just stands there drinking potions to the point where she becomes literally immune to all kinds of venom. Now you might think the Hydra would move, because, well, monsters move. But not here, it just stays in the same place for some reason. But no matter how much resistance Maple has, she still needs to find a way to actually defeat the boss. And that's when she thinks, what if, instead of using my weapon, I just eat the boss? Alright, boss successfully eaten, and believe it or not, she actually gets a pretty overpowered skill by doing that. It's weird because the developers constantly complain about how strong Maple is getting, but at the same time, they're the ones who created these mechanics and skills in the first place. But why am I even using my brain, right? Finally, the day arrives when players will compete against each other in the first event of New World Online. And Maple is just there, drawing, and damn, she draws well. And there it is, her first foe. And she just repeats the same thing with every enemy. And it's so cute, I love Maple. But nothing in this life is easy, and the same goes for Maple. Now she finds herself surrounded by multiple players, and the first actually strong guy shows up, and the dude drops one of the coldest lines ever spoken in fiction. I'll teach you how scary the battlefield can be. Skyrim mass dialogue, what else are you gonna say? Never should have come here? But come on, this attack has to do some damage.
ごめんね、効かないんだ。
And that's Bofuri in a nutshell, and that's the first name of this anime, you know, before the I don't wanna get hurt so I'll max out my defense part. This anime is all about a girl accidentally exploiting a game and basically become a walking fortress while doing cute stuff. And I mean, what else do you need from an anime? If you want more, you're just being greedy at this point, my guy. I'd say this anime is basically a more satirical and cozy take on Sword Art Online, and honestly, I'm here for it. So if you haven't watched this anime yet, I'd recommend at least checking out a few episodes and seeing if it sticks with you, because honestly, Bofuri is close to my heart, and even though it's not the most interesting or deep show out there, it'll always be special to me. Also, if you have any recommendations for less mainstream anime I could watch, and maybe even do some kind of review on, drop them in the comments below, right? And I don't really know how to end videos. I think this is a common struggle for most YouTubers, so I'll just end it here.